shakalaka! The Knicks are grit. These kids and our party just lit. That's the Pearly Lord. You know we lick Knickerbocker, have a talk to. Let's go! Drip, 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 drip. It's in this. Drip, 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 drip. We lit.
Yo. We're back, folks. It's time to talk that Knicks and Ish. I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Avenue. It was a tough one, bro. It was a tough one. I'm joined by your favorite panel. First, leading off, the first lady of Knicks and Ish. She's not in the greatest of moods, but she's still here. She's still out and vibing, Mrs. Knicks. And of course, our beloved co-host, Yatu Sabe, the one and only gun slinger himself, Mr. Kev Rodriguez. And press like, comment, and subscribe for your favorite panel. You know, the energy is not going to be the same as it always is because obviously this one sucks. We're back out of the All-Star break, and right out the gate, the Knicks lose again, losing the season series to the Detroit Pistons. Final score 126-111. It was a tough one, but let's get into it. Initial thoughts, Mrs. Knicks, please fire away.
I don't know how many times I have to say I hate this motherfucking offense, but I hate this motherfucking offense. 8 for 35 from behind the arc. So we're just going to keep shooting to hit our mark, but keep missing. I don't quite understand how that wins basketball games. I don't get it. As a fan, it's ugly as fuck to watch, and it's not going to win you basketball games, period. Never mind basketball games against a great team like Detroit. You know what I mean? I know everyone's going to say, oh, last year we didn't beat the Celtics, we didn't beat Cleveland, we didn't beat them, and then we won in the playoffs. That's all good, fine and dandy, but at the same time, this Detroit team has it in their head that we bust their ass last playoffs, so they see blood every time they see us, and they showed it throughout these 3 games we played them thus far. And if we don't at least get a win against them, I don't know how our confidence will be like having to see them in the playoffs. You know what I mean? This is still not the same team as last year. Not the same coaches last year. Last year, Tibbs did a great job in the playoffs, changing things up. You know, I don't know that Mike Brown has that in him. And I say that because I haven't seen much difference in our regular season play. We continue to go back to the same shit that doesn't win basketball games, like shooting threes when they're not going in, like not moving the ball and having only 24 assists. I mean, we're a better basketball team than this, and I'm tired of seeing us continue to take that step back. You know, after we see progress, take that step back to the same bullshit that has us losing games. This was a very fucking winnable game. They didn't have their 2 best defenders on the court, and we couldn't fucking win. I don't understand. I'm annoyed. I'm gonna have that energy because we fucking lost when we should have won. And Steven, I see you in the comments, and I'm not going to post it, but you're not going to talk shit about JB, who's the only motherfucker that showed up tonight. Oh, one more thing, because I say it time and time again, the offense needs to run through Cat. The offense needs to run through Cat. We didn't do it in the first half. Look what happened. We went down 10. We did it in the second half, the start of the second half, and look what happened. You know, yes, we went down more, but the offense looked better. We have to get him involved early on because when we do, the team is unstoppable. And again, again, we stop feeding Cat or we don't look for him. This cannot be our strategy. I mean, I'm not a genius. Y'all not geniuses. We're just Knicks fans. And we know what it's going to take to win. And I don't understand what our coach doesn't understand.
That goes without saying. I mean, just look at the season series. Game 1, 121-90. Game 2, 118-80. Tonight, 126-111. The Knicks systematically have been destroyed in these 3 games. I think the point differential is damn near like 80 points. I think it was mentioned even in the broadcast on Prime. And there were times in that game, because y'all know I do not like Stan Van Gundy for nothing. I do not like the man. I don't like how he does broadcasts. I don't like his analysis. But he said something earlier, and you mentioned it just right now, Anna, that they need to get Karl Anthony Towns involved. I think I even put that in the group chat. Why they didn't get the ball to Cat a little bit sooner is beyond me. And then 8 for 35 from downtown. If the shots are not dropping, you need to create. You need to do something else. And yes, Jalen Brunson was the only one doing something else. Then Cat got going. He finished with 21, double-double as advertised. But when I start seeing that the only person on this team that's willing to create his own shot, actually there was 2 guys. There was Jose Alvarado, and believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell fucking Robinson created his own opportunities to score. And that didn't happen that frequently because you didn't see Alvarado and Mitch too much in the second half. They really didn't do anything. It was the Cade Cunningham show. And you got to tip your hat to him because you saw it in his face. You saw it in the mannerisms. He looked at this date, Thursday, February 19th, 2026. He was going to go to the Garden. He was going to have a Garden show. And then that the rest of the team circled the other dates on the calendar, wherever you saw that orange and blue ball. And they came to play. You got to give it up to them in that ass. And it's like, how do the Knicks respond? Yeah, you can always talk about, like Anna said, you can always talk about that bullshit about, well, we went 0-10 against the top 3 teams in the East, and we took out the Celtics. Do you really want to keep on testing those odds? Maybe Mike Brown got got like a hidden plan or some shit. Nah. Right now, Mike Brown's not showing me that he has it in him. Not like JB Bickerstaff has it over there. He wants these games. He wants to make a statement. He wants to vote that vote of confidence. He wants all of that. And right now, the Knicks are just not responding. And it's us fans that have to hold the bag for him. This is bullshit. Yeah, your thoughts, please.
To be honest with y'all, like I thought the Knicks played pretty decent defense in the first half. Our shots weren't they just wasn't falling. I mean, we had a lot of wide open opportunities that we missed. But I thought what I liked in the first half was that we was matching the intensity defensively, physicality. Like we was doing our thing until, like, I would say the last minute of the second quarter, that they went on like that 8-0 run or some shit, and then they went up 10. So defensively we played decent in the first half because we was going back and forth with them. Even though our guys were struggling, even though Cat struggled in the first half and couldn't get going. I do agree that with y'all with the fact that we should have got him way more involved quicker than we did. I like how he came out in the second half guns blazing, but I felt like he should have kept being more aggressive. Um, and not just him, and not just JB, but I felt like Cat should have been way more aggressive because, I like the Kid Smith and Paul Reed, bro, and then they put in smaller guys on you. Like I feel like he needs to attack that. Those guys ain't got the same kind of talent that he does. And I feel like sometimes he plays down to the level of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being that 6, 7 time all-star that you are, um, and be more aggressive and attack the basket, I think that it would have been, not just the second half, but the whole entire game. It would have been a different outcome. Um, but I don't know, man. Like I feel like Detroit, for some reason, when they come play us, they're not a great 3-point shooting team. If you look at the numbers, they're really not a great 3-point shooting team. Kate Cunningham is only a 33% 3-point shooter. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them guys are not good. But for some reason, when they come and play the Knicks, it's lights out from the 3-point shot. So, I feel like we in the second half we kind of like wandered off a little bit, and by the time they started going on a run, it was too late, man. Like we tried to come back at some points, but every time we tried to come back, they kind of like had they countered it. So I mean, if the Knicks could just play full quarter basketball, man, like defensively, because that first half they played decent. If they could have did what they did in the first half all game long, the game would have went different. You know what I mean? The 3-point shooting was horrendous. I think we only made one in the first half. We made one three. We was 1 for 16 in the first half from the 3-point line. That was fucking nasty work. That was terrible. That I was just like, bro, we gotta do better, man. Like, you utilize that. We keep saying it on and on and on and on and on. The pick and roll, do something different, bro. Because if you're not making the 3-point shots, you're gonna get killed. You know what I mean? You're gonna get killed. So, you know, shout out to the Pistons. I mean, it is what it is. They were the better team. They've been the better team this year so far than us. I That's the team that I told y'all that I was, concerned about because, this year they really have like our card. They do. So they pretty
Let
much
me
had a
let me address it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kev.
no, I just think that, the Knicks, I know the series with them is over. But these are 3 games that the Knicks gotta go back and look at. Really, really, like really, really go through the films, study what you did wrong, and adjust. Playoff time, when the playoff time comes, you're gonna have to make adjustments. You know what I mean?
And
Jay
that's
wants to-
my concern is that this coach can't adjust. He hasn't shown us not one time this season that he's been able to adjust. And I'm not just talking in game, I'm talking game to game. We haven't seen any. And I do want to address this one comment in the chat. Antonio, this is the first time I'm seeing your name here. So for you to make a comment like this, you clearly don't watch Knicks and Nish, because anybody in the chat who watches our show daily or after every game will tell you, me, and I'm speaking for myself, I even say it looks good when it goes, but when it doesn't, it looks terrible. And win or lose, I'm not a fan of this offense. And everyone in the chat can tell you, I say it show after show after show, win or not win. I do not like the offensive scheme of this coach. comment like that if you don't know facts. Thank you.
I like to address that comment. I also have been an advocate of firing Mike Brown. I never wanted him here. I tried to give him a chance. I'm also an advocate of the 43s a night does not fucking work in today's NBA. Not with this personnel, and not with the way we gained an identity of being a defensive minded team. We haven't been that. And when that 43 shit doesn't work on one night, what else do you have in your bag? This is what I think that didn't work in Cleveland, didn't work in Los Angeles, hasn't worked anywhere. Didn't work in Sacramento. So if it doesn't work, why are we trying to make it? Why are we still trying to make it work on a team that supposedly is entering the season with championship aspirations? But against this one specific opponent, we've played 12 quarters and lost every single motherfucking one of them. We have not won not a single period against the Detroit Pistons. And it kind of irks the shit out of me, because at least you could say that they at least won a quarter in one of the two meetings against the Thunder last year. They won maybe a quarter or a stretch in any of the games against Cleveland, or Darlene says, how you doing, man? Against any of the other opponents. And you saw that there was the capacity to at least, progress from someone. And I'm sorry, even though tonight's game wasn't a complete blowout like the other two meetings, this doesn't show me that you have adjusted, because they played the same fucking game. Detroit muscled them. Detroit fouled them hard. Detroit did everything. The rest also freaking, swallowed the whistle a couple of times. Don't get me wrong. There were a couple of, there was a couple of instances where I'm like, where was the call? That one move in the first quarter where homie passed it to himself and it was up in the air, came down with it, and no call was made. Then a charge.
Two charges
were not granted to Jalen Brunson, but all of a sudden, they're on the line. I mean, that's just what it is. But, look, I'm not going to complain about the refs. I'm not going to complain about this, but I am complaining with the offensive philosophy. So I do not understand how a guy who has the record of being fired 5 games into a season with the Los Angeles Lakers all of a sudden gets hired to be the new head coach of the New York Knicks after they just made the Eastern Conference Finals last season, improving on their win total year after year under Tom Thibodeau. And this was supposed to be the one that put us over the hump, and look at the result that we're getting on a nightly basis. Come on now.
But I'm gonna say this though, guys. Like, the Knicks had to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Those 6 turnovers by Jalen Brunson was terrible. You know what I mean? Like the Pistons do a really. If you look at the 3 games, right? There you go. It's 15. You know what I mean? The turnovers that they forced in each of the 3 games, and then they turned those turnovers into points. If I'm not mistaken, they lead the league in that, if I'm correct, right? Or top 5, or
top 3.
Top 3. You know what I'm saying? I know they somewhere up there, but we when you play teams like this, you got to play sound basketball, bro. You can't be making mental mistakes. 6 turnovers by Jalen Brunson is nasty work. You know what I mean? And that's my guy. That's my guy to the fullest. I love the captain, but it is what it is, bro. You got to do a better job at controlling the ball, right? They turned 11 offensive rebounds into 19 points. You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing that we got to do a better job of. We're not boxing out enough. You got guys, they destroyed us in the paint. We was not protecting the paint today. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this got to go on the players too. Like, they got to do a better job at playing at defense, man. Like, I felt like Busted. They come and Jeremy Sochan comes right in, boom, makes a defensive play. Keep him on K Cunningham. I would have kept it on K Cunningham the whole night. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Because I felt like he was the only guy that kind of like made it difficult for K Cunningham. Everybody else, he was just packing up. You know what I mean? But as
and
far as
and
the
that
team,
goes back to that goes back to adjustments, right? Because we had Macau on him. They kept switching, right? Kept switching, allowing JB to defend him, who's clearly much smaller. And there, like there was no adjustment. I agree with you. Shohan, he did in that first his first play well. And so you're supposed to continue. And instead of that, you go bench him. You know what I mean?
right?
Because he came in like at the end of the first quarter. So
Right.
then you bench him.
And then
You
they
do the
had
same
OG.
nonsense.
Then they had OG on him, who's just coming off an injury.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
OG 1 for 8
He
from the
clearly is
3 point line though.
slow.
But then you
Huh?
go OG 1 for 8 from the 3 point line. Why are you shooting so many
Right.
threes, bro? We seen this so many times this year. Like, bro, you was playing well when you was attacking the basket. I want you to attack the basket at will. Put pressure on the defense. You when you was attacking the basket, he was successful. But
But
the
again,
3 point.
it goes back to adjustments because think about every team that played us physical this year. We stopped going to the basket and went back to shooting these fucking threes. You know what I mean? Like, and this team to me seems like they're scared to play physical basketball against a team that wants to play physical back. And that's not the same team we saw last year. The team we saw last year were the ones who were initiating the physicality. We're getting punked. And that's just not Knicks basketball. And it
Well,
doesn't make me happy
I
as a fan.
I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't think they're playing not scared. I think they're playing cautious, right? Because the whistle don't play the same when it comes to the Knicks. We know this. We know this. So because you go like you touch Cade Cunningham and it's a foul. Shamet gets smacked in his chest. And I mean, everybody saw it on live TV. He got smacked. No call. You know what I'm saying? And there was a bunch of calls today that were not called that should have been called. So I feel like when the Knicks, they play way too cautious because I feel like they don't let us match that kind of intensity at times throughout the game.
Bro,
So
cautious basketball is not going to win us a championship, for
It's not.
one.
It's
And then
not.
it goes back to coach. It goes back to the fucking coach because you have yet to speak up for this team. You have
Uh
yet
yeah.
to raise your voice at the refs, to look upset. You know what I mean? The shit that we seen from teams. You don't want the guys to get distracted and complain. Your part as the coach to make it known, like, hey, this shit is happening, and y'all need to be looking at this. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not getting the whistle, absolutely. And this is not just today, it's been all season long. But again, the coach is just sitting there like,
And
where
that
Tibbs
that
was
that
getting in their ass.
that's been all season. That's been all season long. You know, I've mentioned it quite a few times. You know what I'm saying about him not coming out of his face for the players like Tibbs used to do. It's annoying, but at the end of the day, man, as a team, as a coaching staff, you gotta play solid. You gotta play solid basketball. You can't play. You gotta play mistake-free basketball, mental-free basketball. You gotta stay focused. You can't be lollygagging on defense, and you gotta play with that mentality to fucking attack Detroit. If you attack Detroit, like Jose Alvarado was attacking the basket. the smallest guy on the court, attacking the basket. You know, why everybody else don't do that? Guys like Mikal. Why are you not being aggressive, attacking the basket? Why are we not cutting? Why is it that when we play Detroit, these guys stop cutting to the basket?
Because they got to they got to make sure they hit that 43 quota.
Yeah, but like, that's what's getting us those wins. Those wins that we won before the half, that we went like 9-2 or whatever. We was attacking the basket, cutting. You seen Mikal cutting to the basket at will. Guys are cutting. Guys were moving the ball. How many assists did we have today?
24.
That's not enough. Against the Pistons, that's not
They
enough.
had 30.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this: when you move that ball around, it'll break down that defense. It'll break down that defense. But if you sitting there just chucking up 3 points like you did in the first half, that it was pathetic. Pathetic.
What I've noticed when it comes to these 3 games against the Pistons, the Knicks, we all know they can't defend the 3-point well, but neither can the Pistons. The Pistons are not one of the great, they can't shoot the 3-point well either. But you know what's kind of crazy is that when you look at the Knicks on offense, they look like they're guarding the 3-point line on offense. And then on defense, they're trying to clog up the paint or trying to stay with their man, and they can't do either of them correctly. And the only person down there, in his limited minutes is Mitch. Occasionally you get Cat. Occasionally you get a Josh Hart. But, now these guys are completely out of position, and you have, understandably so, Detroit's a much more taller and much more physical team. But at the same time, you got to match that physicality. You have to put a body in front of them. I don't give a shit how big Asar Thompson is, or or Tobias Harris, or any of those, or Reed, or them. You got to put a body on them. And all these guys are 6'3" and above. They should be able to put a body on them. Jose Alvarado should probably be the only one in the backcourt, maybe JB. But you have to have we have to start playing to our size and to our advantage. And you guys, pretty much have been hitting it, consistently. We stopped cutting to the basket. We stopped driving to the basket. We stopped getting, we're just resorting to, to being parked outside the 3-point line, hoping that a 3-point shot will open up off of 1 or 2 screens, maybe just only one, and then chuck it up immediately. And if that's the case, then Mike Brown, if the 43s is that detrimental, you know what? Sit everybody down and just let Jordan Clarkson do it, because he'll chuck it up no problem. Dead ass. Just let Jordan Clarkson have the ball and let him chuck it, because he'll chuck it 40 times. And that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying that's what he do. And he'll probably shoot it at 35%. You cannot have 5 guys all doing the same exact thing. And that's not – they all have to have a role. They all have to have a plan. You can't have only Josh Hart cut into the basket. You can't have Mikal Bridges trying to work in the inside. You can't have Karl Anthony Towns consistently parked on the outside, at the top of the key trying to drive when he's going to hook somebody. They're going to get into his chest. They're going to smack him in the face. That he's going to hit the floor, and that the ball's going to be on the other side of the court by the time he gets up. Time to adjust. And it can't be and I can understand why so many people would keep on talking about the hero ball shit with JB. But guess what? He's the only one that's diversifying his offense. When his 3-point shot is not going down, he's diversifying. He's creating shots. He's creating opportunities. That's why he ended up with 30 plus tonight. Look at what Cade Cunningham did tonight on our floor.
Yo, you know what?
He was doing multiple things. He was.
He was. And let me tell you, next time we play them, I'm really putting Jeremy Sochan on him for the whole night. The whole night. I want you to block him up. I'm not playing no games. Fuck out of here. You know what? I this kid, if you look at the numbers, there's a list. There's a list of players and good players that when he plays those guys defensively, they struggle. Every time we play a team with a star on it, you put him on it. You don't put OG. Put OG on the second best guy. You put this kid on him because I feel like he'll match the physicality. I feel like look at how he played Cade tonight. I feel like he played him the best out of everybody
in the limited minutes. Yeah.
and the limited minutes. He even got a block. When he smacked Cade Cunningham that shit out to, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Defensively, we got to get it together. Again, it's the same thing.
So you were just mentioning the numbers on Sochan. I'm gonna read this off to you. SGA held for 2 for 11 shooting when defended by Sochan. Paolo Banchero shot 25%. Scotty Barnes, 25%. Julius Randle, 28.6. Tyrese Halliburton, 31.3. LaMelo Ball, 33.3. LeBron James, 35.5. Anthony Edwards, 38. These are the DFGs that he has against Jalen Brunson. He has 38.5. Anthony Edwards, 38. Damian Lillard, 39. His isolation defense, he holds opponents to less than more than half a point per possession. That ranks one at the top in the NBA. Considered one of the top 10 wing stoppers in the NBA, frequently utilized as a lockdown defender. Career stats is average 0.36 steals and 0.18 blocks per game for the season. If I'm Mike Brown, I'm going to say exactly what Kev said, but this is how I'm going to say it. Jeremy, you see that nigga right there? I want you to foul him 6, 7, 8, 10 times. That's it. That's all you got to do.
I honestly, like, I don't even think he needs to foul him, bro. Because he plays smart. I'm watching this one game, and I'm like, yo, I like the way he played defense. I felt like even Cade had him beat a little bit, and he still blocked his shot.
But that's what I would do. I would just say, defend him. I am giving you 6 fouls. Do whatever you want.
Right. But you put him against the best of the best.
I don't care if he fouls out. Did you do your job? And I'm looking at that stat sheet. Kate Cunningham shooting 4 for 19 with 12 points. Yep, I say he did his job.
Oh man, I'm telling you, bro, he's gonna be the guy. And remember, he got fresh legs. You know how many DMPs he got in San Antonio?
Ridiculous.
He got fresh legs, kid. And this kid is 22 years old.
Plus the week off.
He brings energy. He said it himself. I bring energy, physicality. I'm ready to go. And a little bit of the nasty.
And I'm about team first.
And I play with a little bit of the nasty. Pause. So, the kid, that's somebody that Mike Brown really got to figure out what to do with this kid when it comes to putting him on all the best players. Every time we play somebody, I am so confident to put that kid on him, bro. That's how confident I feel about it.
Well, since we're talking about him, the next topic was, what does it mean? Because it's been all over social media in the last, since we signed him, does he take Mohamed Diawara's minutes? So my question is not really that. It's like, where does he fit in? Where do we put him into this offense?
I mean, when it comes to him, like, offensively, I think he was brought here more for a defensive purpose.
Well, where do we fit him into the game? Let me say that then.
Like you mean with the second unit per se?
However you see fit. Second unit, first unit.
I
I
think
mean,
that
what? Go ahead,
Like,
Av. Go
whose
ahead.
minutes does he take? How are we gonna get him into the flow of the game?
I think that you plug and play him, to be
Mm-hmm.
that defensive stopper exactly where you
Right.
need him. Um, if that means that Diawara's minutes get cut a little bit, I mean, so be it. I mean, it was bound to happen anyway. Um, I think that you have to, look at who are you spelling Josh Hart, OG Ananobi, and Mikal Bridges for. You don't have Deuce till you know April.
The playoffs.
Let's say April, to be fair.
Right.
Alvarado is just going to be spelling Brunson, and so whenever you need that defensive stopper, that's where you put him. Um, I mean, does that mean that that you have to sacrifice Diawara? You might have to. I mean, especially in situations like that. And I mean, let's be realistic. How many minutes do you really think that Mike Brown's going to play him during the playoffs anyway? He's going to cut the rotation very short. He's going to be looking at offensive first. He's going to be looking at guys who can shoot the three. So you know that you're going to be looking at guys like the starting five plus Deuce, maybe Alvarado, and then you have to go with Sohan. After that, and of course you go with Mitch.
Yeah.
I don't really see that really adjusting too much unless a specific matchup or a game time
I
situation
like this.
calls for it. But the reality is that if you need that defensive stopper, you look no further than look at number 20 right now and say, what color your hair is today? All right, well, go that nigga right there, stop it. And you're going to have to sacrifice development of guys like Diawara. Forget Tyler Kolek for a while. I mean, most of
Yeah,
Mike,
I think it's a wrap for him.
Mike Brown pretty much already has, and
I think it's a wrap.
and Jordan Clarkson's in the doghouse. So what else? Where else do you see it?
I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like you could always plug him in with the best defenders on the team. Guys like my man Drago NYC said. You could plug him in there with
Marlo,
Alvarado, Deuce. I'd rather take Shaman over Clarkson. Jeremy and Mitch. That's a nice little lineup. Second unit, because those are your best defenders right there. On the team. I mean, most of them, I would say, are behind OG. You know. Um, but yeah, man. Like I think that Mike Brown got has a good problem on his hands because he got a lot of talent to work with, but I don't think you should. I don't think you should cut anybody's minutes. I mean, look at today. Everybody got to play a little something. Diawara got to play a little something. It's not like he didn't get no minutes. You know what I mean? I think you go with the person who's playing the best throughout the game. That's how I think it should be. If you're playing great at this point in time of the game, then you are the one who's gonna get the first call when it's time to make that call. Whether it be defense, whether it be offense. If Diawara is having a better offensive game, then that's who you go with. If he's better having a better defensive game, then that's who you go with. But sorry about that. But yeah, man, like I feel like nobody should. Just in my opinion, I mean, I know obviously it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna lose their minutes, but I don't think you should stop Diawara and this guy. I think you should play both of those guys because you see how tall these guys are. Detroit, I think their smallest guy is that kid Jenkins with the is that his name with the dreads?
Uh-huh.
yeah, he's
You
six
know,
three.
right. I think he's their smallest guy, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody else is 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". You know what I mean? So I think that you keep playing the Awara, you keep playing Jeremy, and because we already got two short guys on the team, Jalen Brunson and Jose Alvarado. You know what I mean? So that's my
I mean,
take
I,
on that.
I agree with you 100%. I think it should be, and I mean, we've said it show after show, yes, it's a good problem to have, but it's only a good problem to have if you know what to do with it, right? And I just don't see Mike Brown knowing what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten better and better, especially, with the trade deadline and then picking up Sochan off of waivers. But again, I get it. Tonight was OG's first game back. But he shot 3 for 13 and 1 for 8 from the three, and you gave him 32 minutes. Those minutes, he could have got reduced a little bit and given more to Sochan or someone else, Mitch. I mean, Mitch can't be on a fucking minutes restriction all fucking season. We at the end now. You know what I mean? Like, against a team like Detroit, we need to be all hands on deck, and that's it. So I agree. It should be, who's having the better game or specific matchups that may work. But this coach and this coaching staff just hasn't given me the confidence to be like, yeah, they know what to do. They don't know what to do. It's unfortunate. They just don't.
You know what? Shout out to everybody here on the chat. We appreciate you 1000% for the energy, the love, and the comments. Be sure to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Set the notification bell on your subscription so that you are aware every single time that Knicks and Ish is live and whenever we post content. I was just looking at the Detroit Pistons roster. Cade Cunningham, 6'6", Jalen Duren, 6'10", Javonte Green, 6'5", Tobias Harris, 6'8", Ronald Holland, 6'8", Kevin Herter, 6'6", Dennis Jenkins, 6'4". I think their shortest dude is Marcus Sasser, who's 6'1", and that dude don't even play.
He don't even play.
Play.
So really, he don't even count. He don't even count. That guy don't count, bro. So really, the smallest guy is 6'4". So listen, Mike, man, like Mike Brown, listen, you keep playing Mohamed Diawara, okay? You keep playing Jeremy Sochan. You keep playing these guys, bro. You know what I mean? It's only gonna build up Diawara's development. The kid is smart, man. He could do it all. He's still young. Defensively, he still got some work to do. But listen, all that will fall into place when you put him next to guys like OG, Jeremy Sochan, Mitch and stuff like that, bro. These guys are young, man. These guys, especially him. That kid is smart, man. He be picking up on everything quick. Not just on passing the ball around. He's shooting 40+% from the 3-point line. You know what I mean? And people say, "Oh well, he can't create his own shot." Yes, he can. Yes, he can. I seen him post people up, take it to the cup, and I also seen him take it to the cup on his own. So
I just think a lot needs to be done, period. Like,
right.
With the offense, I mean, someone mentioned it in the chat earlier and we didn't, talk about it, but, a lot of the shit that we were promised, we still have yet to see. Right. And I wanted to mention it too, Kev, because you mentioned JB's turnovers earlier. And again, goes back to us not being given the product that we were sold when we hired this coach. He's the one bringing up the basketball every time up. When you told us someone else was going to do it and he was going to run off the ball at the start of the offense. We have yet to see it. We went back to the same bullshit that you told us you weren't going to do, coach.
Right, because when Macau
was creating, though, no one else can create besides JB.
Well, it's not about the creating; it's about the bringing up the ball,
taking the pressure off of him.
Thompson to pressure him all the way up.
Yeah,
right. So you let someone else bring the ball up. let him run through a pick, get the ball, and start the offense. But a lot of the turnovers are because it's being forced.
Yeah. Yes.
And for a few games, I've seen the same shit where no one else is bringing up the ball. Not Josh, not Macau, OG, Cat. You see it in one here and one there. But when you're playing a team as defensive as Detroit, where they're going to pick up JB, because they're to them, stopping the Knicks is stopping JB. And Asar Thompson is going to pick him up full court all game long. And he puts a body on him. And to me, it's a foul most of the time, but they don't call it. We cannot allow that. We have to allow someone else to bring up the ball. Macau. I mean, if you're not confident in them, fucking put Jose Alvarado in there with him. Let him bring up the fucking ball. He can handle the ball.
He can. So it's something that they're gonna have to go back to the tapes, see what they did wrong, go back to the first half and see what was working and make adjustments, man. That's it. Brunson is gonna turn on because he's a ball hog.
Stephen Kennedy, he just hates. Just say you hate Jalen Brunson. Just say.
But you got to remember when the trade deadline. Listen, when the trade deadline came, he wanted to trade Cat for Giannis. Let's not forget that. So now you want the ball to go through Cat all of a sudden.
No,
and the thing is, we know what we got. We know Brunson is not an alley-oop thrower. We know this. We'll see one here and there, but that's not his game.
Only with Mitch.
We know that he plays best off the ball. We know this. We know he's a scorer. He's going to get his shots. But don't call him a ball hog when he's the only one that's fucking giving us points tonight.
I feel like Cat also got to take opportunities of certain situations throughout the game. Like, he don't take opportunities with the mismatches, man, and it kind of like pisses me off.
You're right. You're absolutely right on that. I mean, we get upset that, he's not involved, but he has to make himself involved. He has to be aggressive. He needs to call for the ball. You know what I mean? He needs to let his teammates know, dude, get me the basketball. They have a 2 guard on me. They have a 3 on me. But at the same time, my opinion is when players get physical with Cat, he backs down some. I need that. I'm from the East Coast. You know what I mean?
Word, from Jersey.
I don't play that shit and toughen up. Like, don't back down from these dudes. And that's the one thing I don't like about Cat is when he plays either very big name guys in his position or teams that are very physical on him, he timids, and I don't like that.
I need the big bodega to stop playing like a bitch. I said this a long time ago.
He dropping 40 next game.
I need him to stop playing like a bitch. I need him to stop bodying some of these niggas, man. Also, I need him to stop. Yo, some of these cats is getting, they getting really physical. They get, they're really digging into his chest. I mean, we already saw, the cut over his eye and all that stuff, and they slapping him and shit. But he needs to stop crying to the refs and start bodying some of these cats because it's getting ridiculous. I mean, yes, some of the fouls are outrageous and he's not getting the calls, and that's valid. But if you're not getting the calls and they're constantly calling you for hooking or for doing some off the wall type shit, then you can't turn around and complain to the refs that, yo, you're not giving me the call when you're doing some fucking weird shit. It's not logical. So this is where I really need Cat to stop playing like a little bitch. Because I'm sorry, but Paul Reed ain't better than him. I'm sorry, but some of these other cats that he's played with, that have, they kind of muscle up, they ain't better than him. They might be tougher than him, but they ain't better than him. And I'm just sick and tired of seeing that out of him because you can sense it in throughout the Knickerbocker Nation, throughout all the fans and everything. It's we want this dude to be Karl Anthony fucking Towns. We want him to be the big bodega and what that represents and what that means. It's more than just being Dominican. It's more than just being, the wearing the uniform. We want you to embody that shit. And it's really irking me that we have 2 all-stars on our team, but it feels like we're playing with 1.5. A guy that can put up the numbers, but can't walk the walk and talk the talk. And it's getting on my fucking nerves. And South Benjamin, I don't have to say anything else. Just read it.
When he plays like a guy when he.
Hold on, Kev. One last thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, when you playing guys like a guy like their third string, like a guy like Toulouse Smith, bro, you supposed to take advantage of that, bro. This guy's the guy that don't get no playing time, or maybe he might get some playing time, but not like that. He only probably played 18 minutes because Isaiah Stewart and
Durant ain't play.
Jalen Durant ain't play. You know what I'm saying? So, he gotta take it. I want him to take advantage of those situations, bro. Be more aggressive, man. Like, I know that Cat is one of those guys that he don't get the whistle at all. He doesn't get the whistle, even though he's getting super hacked. But, we know you could do it, bro, because we know what kind of player you can be. You know what I'm saying? The ball definitely got to go through Cat. But at the same time, bro, Steve, your man needs to play more aggressive, man. He got to play to take advantage of those mismatches all the fucking time, bro. Because if you don't, it is what I don't understand, bro. How you get outplayed, but you don't take advantage of that. Never.
Stephen Kennedy, what did JB ever do to you, bro?
He's like that. He was like that with Julius Randle too.
So
did JB not give you an autograph, bro?
So he said a big is only as good as his point guard. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one. Because
right, Benjamin.
And then he said something earlier that I wanted to say something about too. He said it's hard to body dudes when your point guard hands it off to you in the perimeter. How about your coach sets you up
and make plays for you?
Below the free throw line to draw up plays for you. No, this coach's mentality is everyone stand behind the 3-point line and shoot. That's it. That's what the fucking offense is. Stand behind the 3-point line and shoot. Cat stands behind the 3-point line. He gets the ball because that's where he's instructed to go, or that's where they want to start him at. And then he has to then create and go into the paint. We have not seen, not once, and not even with Thibodeau, Cat be set up in the paint to create. Tell me if I missed a game where one of y'all seen that. I haven't seen it. He's even under Thibodeau started from that 3-point line and tried to create his own shit. This is not a JB thing. This is something that needs to be preached by the coaching staff. Yes, he's a big man. We know that. But what is he? The best shooting big man. So he's expected to shoot the 3. And this is why he starts back there. Now the coaching staff needs to say, okay, this is what we're going to run. You're going to be below the free throw line, and we'll get you the ball, and you handle it, and you bully. He hasn't done it. It's kind of the same thing for Mikal, right? Macau's not down there when we know he can attack anybody that defends him mid range. No, Macau gets the ball at the wing and has to create his own mid range shot. This is not a JB issue. This is a coaching issue. This is an offensive scheme issue. Don't blame this shit on JB. We know what the fuck we got when we got JB.
And don't forget, we always bring this up. Mike Brown promised us more pick and rolls, more this, more that, more getting our big guys involved. And all you have this guy doing is chucking up threes, and that's not gonna work all the time. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be more creative, and I think that we lack that creativity on the offensive end at times, man. Like, other teams, you see them moving the ball, pushing the pace in transition, way more lobs than we do. We should be lobbing the ball. We got guys that we can lob the ball to. We just don't do it enough. And Mike Brown, before the season started, he promised us that he was going to do that. And we were seeing when the Knicks were doing it in the beginning of the season, and they were using Jalen Brunson and Cat in the pick and roll and mentioning it was working. It was working, bro. And I don't know where down the line it just faded away, and we don't go. I think we seen it once in this game. We seen Jalen Brunson pass it to Cat going down to the basket. That was on that dunk, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean?
And not only do we have guys that can do it, Kev, we just signed another one that's a lob threat. Sochan is a fucking lob threat. Go watch his fucking highlights.
Right.
South Benjamin, I'm gonna just echo what you just said, but it's like it's the live by the three, we die by the three. Well, it's essentially like the Yankees. We live by the long ball, we die by the long ball.
Listen, South Benjamin, listen. Let's be real here. People forget, right? In the playoffs, I think it was you, Av, that mentioned it, right? He said he's gonna cut guys down where guys we're gonna need. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if he does that and you start cutting our best defender like Jeremy Sochan, those guys need to be playing in the playoffs, man. Because in the playoffs, that's when it comes down to defense the whole time. Defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. Okay? If you're gonna be sitting there chucking up threes and thinking that you're gonna be out shooting the other opponent, it's not happening. It's not happening, man. When you having one of these nights where you're 1 for 16 in the first half, that's not gonna win you a playoff game. It's not. So you have to figure out other ways to put the ball in the basket, bro. Because the 3-point shooting all the time is not gonna cut it. We gotta cut that 40 plus 3-pointers a game down to like maybe 32 to 35, maybe 36. Because when that happens, unless it's going in. If they're going in, I'm not mad at it. But if we're going 1 for 16 in the first half, something gotta give, guys.
Try something else.
Something gotta give, guys. Like, we can't continue to keep shooting threes if we're not gonna make them.
And that's the issue that I have, is that there's no plan B. There's no plan B.
It's like, figure it out yourself. It's like we playing at the Rucker. It's like we playing
more like at a high school gym.
You know what I mean? Like, Mike Brown gotta go to JB and be like, yo, let's do this, let's do that. More pick and rolls with your guys, bro. In situations like this, when they got you guys behind the 3-point line and you can't get out of it, pick and roll, move the ball around, break up that defense, and sometimes they just chuck up a 3-point shot, a bad one too. Sometimes they were open looks. We had a lot of good open opportunities. They just weren't going in too.
But that's when you stop.
Right.
That's when you stop. right? Because when your 3-point, especially for shooters, if your shot isn't going in, you just got to see the ball go into the basket. You need to create an easy shot or get to the free throw line, see the ball go into the basket. And for most shooters, that does it. That will, it'll then click where, shots may start going in. But, I'm over this offense. I don't know how many times I got to say it. I'm just over it. I'm just over it.
So let's move on to the final topic of the night. It is on. We're going on 1 hour. It's like the future's going to this. We're looking into the off season because it is a harsh reality that we have to come up with. As we all know, Mitchell Robinson is a free agent at the end of this season. If the Knicks do not, and most people will probably believe that the Knicks will not end the 53-year curse and garner this team's first NBA championship since 1973, and they're looking at what's next, and so I'm looking at guys like Deuce. I'm looking at guys like Mitch and a bunch of other guys that that are going to be out in the open market, are going to be available, might be something to the effect of trade bait. But let's talk first about Deuce McBride. Deuce is on a very team-friendly contract. He only makes about $4.3 million. He is extension eligible come next season. Look, I believe he only makes 3.9 next year, and I looked up, a bit of I think, what is it called? NBA salary model XYZ. And anybody you can look it up yourself. What is the projected value for his contract? And then you try to do the same thing for someone like Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson, doesn't make a lot of money either. He's also on a pretty much he only makes $13 million. So, looking at both those guys next year, Deuce, his overall value, is well over $21 million, which is about a $16.7 million surplus. You look at someone else like Mitchell Robinson, who only makes 13, his projected value is 33.2 at a $20.2 million surplus. Now, these are just projections and models, but you know that both those guys are going to be looking for an increase in their pay. Obviously, the Knicks can do some things because, they do own the bird rights for both those players. But then what do you do, considering that you're so stuck on the salary cap? You're well over the first apron. You're maybe under $1 million, or if not, maybe I don't even think they're even there anymore because of the Sochan signing. You're at the second apron. You're handcuffed. What are your thoughts on the numbers I just projected to you, Anna?
I think we do whatever we need to do to keep them both. I think they're both very important to this team. Because we have their bird rights, we're allowed to sign them at a much higher, well, not a much higher rate. We're allowed to match whatever another team offers, and we not be penalized. I don't know that a trading them away will be smart unless we know for sure that they're not going to stay with us and we'll lose them for nothing. And even then, what will we get for a $3 million Deuce contract? We'll get nothing. We'll get a second round pick. That's what we'll get. You know what I mean? Like, he's worth more to us than a second round pick. And so unless we know 100% that even with his bird rights, he won't stay with us, you hold on to him.
Well, I also want to clarify, they're not restricted free agents. They are. Mitch will be an unrestricted free agent, so he's free to sign wherever he wants. The Knicks don't even get. He doesn't have to even meet with the Knicks if he doesn't want to. So it's not one of those cases. But the Knicks can offer him the most because of the bird rights. However, by doing so, they're going deeper over the second salary apron, and then therefore they will get penalized along the lines of what the Warriors and the Lakers and some of the other teams who are well over the second apron, they're going to get penalized, and now essentially you're going to get stuck with with those contracts, because I don't know of many other teams that are going to be willing to sign. I mean, right now, Deuce McBride, if he's at his prime peak of tradability. He makes somewhere along, he produces like a $23 million guy, and he only makes under $4 million. So that's what makes him so attractive as a trade piece right now. Mitch, on the other hand, he can do whatever he wants, and the fact that they haven't even offered him an extension before this season is still mind-boggling to me, except for the fact that we know Leon Rose knows how to maneuver certain aspects of the negotiation. Probably has already had this discussion with Mitch and his agent. But are y'all comfortable with signing Mitchell Robinson at the end of this, season for a contract that's, somewhere along the lines of 5 years and close to 120 to 140
No
million?
way. No way. No way. No way. For a guy who don't play the whole year, you know what I'm saying? And health wise, and I'm not, listen, and I love Mitchell Robinson. This ain't no hate on him or nothing like that. None of it. You know what I mean? Because what he brings to our team defensively, rebounding wise, offensive rebounding wise, blocking shots and all that, I'm good. But health wise, and him not even missing games just because we trying to keep him healthy, that is a big problem for me. And I'm not spending $100 million for 5 years on that. I feel like I'm taking a risk. You know what I mean? And if that's what he's asking for, then I told y'all this before. This is not the first time I'm saying this. If that's his asking price, then I'm willing to trade Mitch. I am. You know what I'm saying?
You can't now.
Yeah. Well, they got to figure something out.
So
they're gonna have to figure something out,
because you can't even trade him because his contract expires, July 1st, and he's free to sign wherever he wants if he so chooses to. Of course, this is all speculative. We don't know if he's even had the discussion with Leon, or he's looking to go elsewhere. Maybe he wants to go to Texas, or we haven't. This is all speculative.
And to be honest,
that's what his value is. His value for what he produces on the court, according to this model, he's worth somewhere along the lines of $30 million a year, between 30 and 35 million.
I don't know that model is accurate. I saw an article.
That's crazy talk.
I saw an article that Ian Begley had posted a few weeks back, maybe a month back, where he spoke to executives of other teams, and apparently other teams aren't high on Mitch the way the Knicks are. And so that projection of what his value is, I don't know is correct, if it's true that other teams don't value him as highly as the Knicks do. When it comes to his salary and what he's worth, it kind of is in a fucked up situation for anyone to really assume, because we don't even know the reason why I mean, we know the reason why he's not playing as
Right,
many
'cause
minutes as he normally would or back to backs is because we're trying to keep him healthy. We don't know if this was a decision made by the team, by by the doctors. We don't know if it was a decision made by him and his team. So it's kind of like, everyone says he ain't worth it because of, he ain't available, but we don't know the reason why he's not available. So I don't think that's a fair assessment as to, putting a value on him. I will say this, we're a much better team with him. Point blank, period. With a healthy Mitch on the court, available to play, we're a much better team. Whether he puts up points or not, what he brings to us rebounding wise, we're not going to get that from anyone we replace him with. We're just not. And that, to me, is an issue because of his offensive rebounds, we are the best 3-point. We're the best team that scores threes from an offensive rebound because of Mitch. It's a fact. You can look up the stats. So losing him would suck. It would suck.
it would.
Do I think he's worth 20, 25 million? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm going to say what Dom said last year. If there's any seasons worth going into that second apron and paying luxury tax, well, goddamn it, it's now. Because we ain't been this close in forever. And at some point, you got to chuck it up. I mean, y'all motherfucking charging fans $500 to sit in a 400 section, pay the fucking luxury tax, and bring us a fucking championship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But $100 million, man, that's fucking deep, B. Pause.
Right, it is.
Yeah,
But
$100 million, bro.
I don't think he's
That's
worth
deep.
that
I mean,
much. I don't think he's worth
that,
that
that's
much.
all.
I would
That's
give
all
him-
I'm saying because I know he
I
could
would
do
give him
all
a
this.
17 mil, 18
I'm
mil.
see, but like I'm not mad at that. Like I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. 15, 16. Okay, we talking now. You know what I mean? But
2025, I think that's too much. To me,
$100
that is
mil, bro.
no, I agree, it's too much. But
Wow. You can't shoot free throws.
that's things that can be worked on.
We've been working on that for years.
And
Free
But
what's
has
throws.
he been?
We've
But has he
been,
been?
we've been
And
working on free throws for years,
you know
and
what's
he still
crazy?
can't hit them.
You know what's crazy is that Matty Ice was just mentioned the name. Remember what happened 2 years ago when we couldn't sign Isaiah Hartenstein to his extension, and he ended up going to Oklahoma City, winning an NBA title.
Yeah.
And
But we didn't own bird rights to him either.
no, we didn't.
No.
That's the big difference.
But
Steven, I'm not wilding. He is an 8-year vet, but let's just be for real. Most big men have an issue shooting free throws. Mitchell Robinson ain't the first one. We can't act like Mitchell Robinson shooting free throws, not shooting free throws, is a Mitchell Robinson issue. That's a 7-foot man issue. There's not many 7-footers that can shoot free throws. It's a fact.
But the problem is,
go back to all the great big men in the. There's been many great big men that couldn't shoot free throws. Shaq. Why the fuck you think there's a hack of Mitch? Because there was a hack of Shaq.
But this is what I'm saying. So, like, right now, like, the way Boston, I think it's some real sucker shit the way they do. But they do it to us every single time. They start fouling Mitch. They start fouling Mitch. And he don't make his free throws. That hurts. Pause. But you know what I mean? Like it is something that he been working on and working on and working on, and for some reason, like it's just
the one thing I would say
already, bro. It's not like you're a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, bro, come on, get it together. And not just him, all of them. Shamet missed free throws today. Josh missed free throws today. Like, guys gotta hit their free throws.
Brunson misses the shits when we need them sometimes.
This is the one comment that I will address. Darlene says that defensive rebounding is what Mitch does well. What that looks to
Mm-hmm.
me is effort, and effort, you know, does have value. So I do agree that he does deserve a pay increase. However, double what he's making right now for and you're not able to play more than 50 games a season.
No, listen, man.
Nah,
We
dude.
pay him 100 million. He better pay 82 games, bro. I don't want to see this. Oh, I can't play back to backs. Bullshit. Fuck that. No.
But the thing, Kev, is that we haven't seen him say. We have not seen him
No, I'm not.
say.
I'm not.
Keep me
Yeah,
at
no,
point.
of course not. But at the same time, if we pay this guy this kind of
No,
money,
I agree.
we
I agree
not
with
we
you.
can't be having him sitting on the bench on back to back. So bro, we got to
Hart,
get this guy going. You know what I mean? And if you can't, if you don't feel comfortable enough to do so, then you got something to think about.
No, I agree with you on that one.
well, I mean, obviously, if this season ends badly, which a lot of people are already thinking that it is, the Knicks do have decisions to make. You
Hmm.
know that there's that one trade that a lot of us either want or don't want to happen in our back pocket. And should the season not end up being what we want it to be, knowing what we know about the Knicks trade assets, knowing what we know about the salary, knowing what we know about the team in itself, as currently constructed and as currently coached, unfortunately. Um, you, if you're Leon Rose, if you do not win it this year, this is where we really need to see the mastery and the genius of Leon Rose and see if that really pays off, because you built this team. This is your team,
Hmm.
and for better or for worse, this is your head coach. This is now your second head coach since you've been at the helm. If it doesn't work with this one, I don't know too many general managers in any sport. So, I mean,
You broke up. I couldn't hear you.
I couldn't. Yeah, I was about to say that too.
it's like I don't know of many general managers that get a third coach or a third try.
Well,
You've been here 5 years, and so far we've been enjoying the progress. We've been enjoying the ride. But now we're looking at this year, and we're like, you know what? This is the year that the season of destiny, yada, so on and so forth. And the biggest change that you made was changing the head coach. Whether that was your decision or not, that's beyond the point. The change was made. You ended up with Mike Brown. If it does not work, what else you got? Because you can, and I'm sorry, it cannot just be, well, we're trading for Giannis. No, I'm sorry. It needs to be
no.
more than that.
To be honest with you, bro, like I don't I think Leon is fine. I think Leon has done a tremendous job actually. He's the way he's turned his whole team around. Even the moves that he made in at the trade deadline, amazing. And you didn't lose anybody. You know what I mean? Like we lost Yabusele. Okay, big deal. You know what I mean? Like that I thought that was amazing. So um I think Leon is a master at figuring things out. I think the guy that gets paid the most out of this is gonna be Deuce McBride. That's the guy that's gonna get the most out of this, and I think it's well deserved. I think he's played his ass off. If it wasn't for this injury that happened, right, and him missing the time he missed, I think we talking a whole different ball game right now because he was having a tremendous season before that, tremendous. So I think for the rest of the guys like Alvarado, Mitch, I think those guys, to be honest, I think and listen, people could laugh at me and say whatever, but I think those guys will stay for cheap. They want to win a championship. We close to winning a champion. We should win a championship this season. To be honest with you, I have that much faith. I think we could get there. You know what I mean? But Leon gotta figure this out, and I think he will. You know what I mean? And I think he'll shock a lot of people. I think so, man, because he always does. He always does, and to be honest with you, the only one bad move that he really made was the second year with the Kemba Walker and the Evan Fournier. Other than that, he's been hitting everything out the park. Like we didn't like the cat trade. That worked out pretty well.
I mean,
You know
I
what I
agree.
mean?
I think that second year was his down, his
That was
the
it.
error on his end. I think
Right.
hiring Mike Brown was the second error. I think if
Well,
we fall short this year, I think if we fall short this year, you got to get rid of him. You got to get rid of
uh,
him because,
And
like
replace
you
him with
said,
who?
I don't know, but it ain't him.
well, listen.
I
I
don't
I
know, but
think
it
it
ain't him because
depends. Eh, eh,
when you think about it, we have the same team as last year. We actually got better. Our bench
nah,
got better.
right, right. Yeah, I was
And
about to say that. Right.
to have less results than what we saw last year means it's an offensive scheme issue and a defensive scheme issue. That's not a team issue. That's a coaching issue. So I think if we fall short, it's a coach issue.
If I'm gonna say this, I'm with you. If we make the playoffs and let's say get bounced in the first round, I think he's out of here. But I think if we
Look, he better get the pink slip the day we get bounced. If we get bounced in the fucking first
if
round,
Like,
right, right.
before that fucking
But
doesn't
but
the
but
last
I'm
game
gonna but
that doesn't shit down, that fucking pink slip better be in his hand.
I'm gonna say this though: if we make it back to like the Eastern Conference Finals, or we make it to the finals, or something like that, he's staying another year. It's the same thing with Tibbs. When we first got Tibbs, everybody wanted him fired. Fire Tibbs, I even got an old short that I made, and I'm like, I know a lot of Knicks fans is gonna be mad, but Tibbs is coming right back. And I'm telling you, if we even make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals or further, he's coming back. Be
but but,
prepared for that. I'm
there,
telling
but
y'all
there's an
right now.
enormous
Be ready for that.
Kev. There's an enormous difference between what Thibodeau was under versus what Mike Brown's under. Thibodeau took this team from nothing
No, I agree.
to
I
the
agree.
Eastern
I
Conference Finals.
agree.
So now Mike
I agree.
Brown, unfortunately, and this is fairly or unfairly, however you want to look at it, he's taking a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals and it's supposed to be an improvement of what was established last year. And thus far, the only thing that he's improved is that we now shoot more threes. Our
Mhm.
defense is worse. Our pace, if not, if anything, is either the same or worse than last year. Our 3-point percentage is not that great. Our bench is better, but that's not even a hidden thing. It's more of a front office issue. And so, what exactly is he improving aside from upsetting Karl Anthony Towns and making
Yeah,
him obsolete?
yeah,
Because that's really what it is. Karl Anthony Towns is obsolete in this
And
offense.
wasting a year of JB's prime.
Exactly. And you're
yeah.
basically banking this season of destiny on you're completely obsoleting Karl Anthony Towns, making Jalen Brunson much more exposed. And for what? So we can shoot 43s a night? I can do that in my backyard myself. Why do I need to see that? Come on.
We could go back to playing like we had Patrick Ewing, bro.
I don't think the NBA
You know
is
what I
ready for
mean?
that.
Because let's be real, like Karl Anthony Towns is a way better 3-point shooter than Patrick Ewing was, bro.
Well,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
but Cat doesn't have I'm sorry, but Cat doesn't have the one 3-pointer that will last in Nick history forever, which is that turnaround three against Boston. And what was it? 89, the 90 series, I believe it was. So until he gives me that, that's still the greatest. But anyway, 1 hour, 25 minutes, folks. Thank you so very much for hanging in with us. We will be back on Saturday when the Knicks take on the Houston Rockets. That will be on ABC, the Saturday night of game of the week. How do you guys see that before we go?
I just think it's a must-win game, man. From here on out, everything is a must-win game for us.
Mrs. Knicks?
Better win. Better win. Better fucking win. We better come out angry that we lost again.
Because Houston's just physical.
Right.
Houston is just as physical as Detroit, if not, and they are, I think, in my opinion, they're more offensively talented than the Pistons. The Pistons are just tougher.
And they have the other Thompson twin,
and he's the better version.
And he's the better
version. He's the better version.
Poor JB. Poor JB. We gotta deal with another fucking Thompson.
So, we gotta be on our P's and Q's, man. Like, we can't be playing, we gotta play all around basketball, turnoverless basketball, don't make mistakes, and switch it up. Do something different other than 3-point shooting all the time.
Well,
unless they're going in. If they're going in, okay. But if not, come on, man. Let's do something.
Winning solves everything.
That shit is about to die.
Yeah. All right. So let's cut it off here. Thank you so very much for joining us on Knicks and Ish. For Kev Rodriguez, for the First Lady, Mrs. Knicks, I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker, saying thank you. Keep on talking that ish. And Mrs. Knicks, if you please.
Hit the outro.
Boom shakalaka! The Knicks are great. These kids and our pot ain't just lit. That's the Pearl Lord. You know we lick Knickerbocker, have a talk to him.